peeps? KgDrifty's in the building. I'm here to bring you guys some modern Campfare best class setup. In today's weapon, we're going to be talking about the TLOU 141. Now, the TLOU 141 is probably one of my favorite guns to use up in the game. Yes, it's a very overpowered weapon. It's very heavy, and on top of that, I think it kind of competes with the M4. I think it's a little bit better with the M4. That depends if you get your shot off first. But the TLOU is probably one of the the first best weapon in this game. I just unlocked the scar, so I'm gonna try that out. But I think the TLOU, it has great recoil, it has great steadiness, and on top of that, it destroys anybody that comes in your path if you manage to get the first shot. But without further ado, we're gonna jump straight into the class setup. So starting off with the first thing, with my secondary weapon with this class, I do use the Magnum. Now, if you pre-ordered the game, you are able to get, the gunsmith version of it, or you get in an armory, you're able to get the blueprint version of the legendary version, which is the XRK357. Pretty powerful, 2 shots it takes to kill a person. If you pre-ordered the game, you're able to get that. But in general, you can use whatever secondary weapon that you want to use with this class. You don't necessarily have to use that, but that's just personally what I use in my personal opinion. Now, going on with the perks, I do use Scavenger. I use Scavenger, Ghost, and Spotter. And on top of that, I also enabled Specialist because I don't really like to use streaks too much, and right now I'm going for nukes. So it's up to you if you want to use streaks or not, but personally, the specialists are godly. I think you have to be at least 29 in order to enable specialists, but the specialist makes everything godly. And for people who don't know how to go to specialists, pretty much what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to press square when you go into your perk selection. You press square, and then once you press square, you're able to select 3 other perks, and pretty much if specialist works just like how it works up in Modern Warfare 3, is very, very powerful if you manage to get all of them, and I'm telling you, you'll be overpowered as hell. But I do recommend, with this class, do use perk specialist because it will help you out big time. And for the lethal, I use Claymore, and then for my tactical, I also use Stem Shot. And pretty much it all depends on your personal preference on what you want to use with your lethal and tactical. Personally, I like to use these because these are more common. And on top of that, for a person like myself, who's trying to get nukes and things like that, the Stem Shot and the Claymore comes in handy a lot. Now, going on with the perks that I do use for the TLOU 141, starting off, I use the monolithic suppressor. This is the last one that you have to unlock, so you get it, I think, at 68, 67. That's if you want to work on it, but you don't necessarily have to. But like I said, you can use any type of muzzle. At first, I used to use the tactical suppressor, and I use the lightweight suppressor as well. The lightweight suppressor don't really work that well. I don't like it that much. But the tactical and the monolithic suppressor is probably the best suppressor to use on this gun. It's very, very powerful, and it helps out a lot. Now, going on with the barrel that I do use is the Scene Guard Arms 19.8 Prowler, and basically it's a stainless steel polygonal rifled barrel with the guard extension. Greatly increases muzzle velocity and extends range and additional weight to stabilize the shot, but hinders the mobility. Very, very great thing. It has damage range, bullet velocity, and on top of that, the recoil control. But it's the only other thing that sucks about it is just the aim down the sight movement and the movement speed. It's a little bit heavy, so it makes you move a little slow. But using the Scene Guard Arms 19.8 Prowler is very, very useful. And before I unlocked it, I did use the Scene Guard 16.6 SOCOM, so that's very useful as well. But I like using the Prowler because, I don't know, it just makes the damage feel like it's a lot more strong than what it is. Now, going on with the optic sight, I use the GI Mini Reflex. Now, when it comes down to the reflex sights, I do use different type of only use 2 reflex sights for this class. I use the GI Mini Reflex, and then I also use the Solorenzo NVG Enhance, the Night Vision Goggle Enhance. This is a very, very, very dope thermal sight. As you can see from the gameplay right here, the thermal sight, it makes it a lot easier to see people heat waves, and it's easier to see enemies a lot better. And a lot of people don't tend to use cold-blooded too much, but even when people have cold-blooded, you can still knock them down and get that shot without any problem. But I do recommend using either the Solo Zero Night Vision Goggle Enhance or use the GI Mini Reflex. Those are just probably the best sights that I like to use personally, and it makes the gun extremely, extremely powerful. Now, going down with the underbarrel, I use the Merc foregrip. I try using other foregrips. I don't really like them too much. The Merc foregrip, it extends the foregrip, reduces vertical recoil, and provides stability from the hip for fast-paced guerrilla tactics. It has recoil control and hip fire accuracy, and on top of that, I'm trying to get gold on this weapon. So this is very, very helpful when you're trying to do hip fire. You're trying to get a hip fire challenge done with this weapon. And personally, like I said before, The Merc foregrip is just a lot better for me. I don't know. There's just something about it. It just feels a lot better compared to the rest of the other ones, in my opinion. Now, going on with the last one that I use, and that is the rear grip stippled grip tape, and that is the last one that you unlock. Basically, it performs high-speed maneuvers, less stable, and it's also very agile. And down, increase your aim down to sight speed and sprint to fire speed. So that's very, very useful in my opinion. And like I said before, you don't necessarily have to use some of these things, but just if you want to copy my setup, obviously these are works the best for me, and I feel like these are better to use in my personal opinion. And like I said before, I necessarily didn't really use grips at first until I tried it out, and it's very, very useful in my opinion. And it does increase the aim down to sight speed, and also, you know, since it's kind of hard to rush in this game, at least it helps out a little bit with the sprint to fire speed. So after you cancel the sprint and try to get into that gun action, it'll help you out a lot in my opinion. It'll work out, and it'll make things a lot easier. But there you guys have it. That is my best class setup on Modern Warfare Campfare. On Modern Campfare. That is my best class setup. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. On top of that, like the video for more great videos. I am going to be having more great videos coming soon for you guys, so stay tuned with that. I'm going to find out a lot more dope things for Modern Campfare for you guys, and it's going to be dope. So I hope you guys enjoy it. More great videos coming soon, and I'll see y'all in the next one.